Okay, Dr. Thomas, we've got the big eclipse coming up on Monday, and it just seems like this has captured the fascination of millions of people. And I know a million people are going to be lining that route from Oregon all the way to South Carolina. And there are going to be a lot of folks here in western Montana that are going to want to see this phenomenon for the first time in 100 years. So, as an optometrist, as an eye professional, what can you tell folks?
Oh, absolutely. That's a great question. I'm excited, just like everybody else is. This is an opportunity to see one of nature's greatest events. And I think the biggest thing to do is just to be very careful with it. Obviously, looking at the sun at any time can damage the eyes, and very particularly it can damage the macula, a very special part of the retina that allows us to see clear vision. Or very center vision can be damaged by looking at the sun, and that's irreversible damage in many cases. So when you're getting ready for the eclipse, certainly if you can find eclipse glasses or viewers that are approved, and you want to make sure that it has an international standard stamped on those glasses, and that's an ISO 12312-2, will show you that that's a safe product for looking at the sun. If it doesn't have that stamp on it, please don't use it. Use an alternative way to view the sun. There are lots of different ideas on how to view the eclipse without looking directly at the sun. There's several different ones you can find online. One of them that's very popular is called a pinhole viewer, a pinhole projector, and you can project those or build those very easy to be able to watch the eclipse. It's an indirect viewing method, so it's safer for the eyes. If you do have the eclipse glasses, the best way to use them is to put them on facing away from the sun, and then glance up at the sun after they're in place, and then turn away from the sun before you take them off, so you don't get any light come in that you weren't expecting. And I always recommend, even with the glasses, if you look just to the side of the sun, so if there is a chance that those glasses were defective or had any damage, that the part of your eye that would be damaged would not be the very center vision. That'll just keep you a little bit safer.
Now, Willie, I understand too that as the shadow of the moon begins to move over the sun, the temptation will be to, try to watch that go over. But the more sun that is revealed, the more danger there is to the eye. Is that right?
Correct, but even if just a little bit of that sun is coming around, that still has the same intensity of UV exposure and the same intensity of light. And even just a little crescent of sunlight may not feel like you're getting the full exposure, but that can be enough to damage the eye. So I know it's a great temptation, and it's a wonderful event. I would recommend keeping those glasses in place, and certainly there's going to be a lot of recordings and be able to view it in those ways afterward, but we want to keep those eyes safe. So even a small crescent of sun coming around that moon, even if you're in the path of that full eclipse, even that little bit of crescent can cause damage to the eye.
Well, now, Willie, how will we know? Will we know immediately if our vision has been damaged, or is it going to come on after a day or so?
That's a great question. It could be, if there's enough damage, that you would know. Oftentimes it'll feel like that there's just a glare or just quite not clear, and we've all had an opportunity where the sun will catch us while we're driving, and it takes a few minutes for that to come back in, and that could be the case where we feel like, oh, it'll clear up in a day or so, and many times the eye can recover, but many times a few days later it still is blurry, and because it damages the very center of vision, it just cannot regenerate once that nerve tissue is damaged. So many times it won't be an immediate change, but even the next day or so you would notice that that's just not clear, just not comfortable.
So now, is this more particularly dangerous to young people or older people or just everybody?
Everybody. Young people, I think, generally, certainly we want to be more careful of, because they haven't had the experiences as far as knowing not to look at the sun, and if everybody else around them is looking up, then they're going to look, and they might not be as careful and have more exposure, might not be aware that could hurt their eyes so much. So definitely with young viewers, make sure that they do not look up at the sun until those glasses are fully in place, and don't take them off until they have turned away, emphasizing that there's a great risk anytime we give that sun exposure to our eyes.
Now, let me ask you, this is the magic question here, Willie. Do you happen to know any place that still has those glasses?
I've been trying to look as I go around town, and I haven't seen very many. They've been sold out. I've heard outrageous prices even online and looking for them, and it's a tough find right now. If you're the valuable few think, again, you can have just as good an experience, and even more so with your family, building some pinhole indirect viewers and be able to experience the eclipse in that way as a family and with your kids just as much as you can with those direct viewers.
Got it. All right, Willie. Thank you so much, sir. Always a pleasure visiting with you.
Thanks, Peter. Always a pleasure to visit you, too.
Take care, sir.